Welcome to another video here on Ty Drives. My name is Ty, and today we will be taking a look at this 2024 Audi SQ5, and specifically we will be taking it for a test drive. Let's fire it up where we have a nice little roar of the V6 under the hood. Now, if you are looking for a first-person POV features review of everything to do with this vehicle, every button, every switch, every feature, I certainly have you covered on that. If you go check out my channel, Ty Drives, we'll have a video just for you on that. But let's get to driving this SQ5. We're going to put it through its paces a little bit today. We are working with public roads, of course, so we're going to obey as much traffic laws as we possibly can. But our first section of the video will take us onto a more main road, so we'll hopefully get it up to 45, 50 miles an hour. I'll kind of close my mouth for a little bit so you can get a feel for the noise levels and things of that nature up at that speed. And we're going to start our drive off in comfort mode. Now this one does have the S Sport package, which means you have the adaptive air suspension. Now I actually drive just a regular Q5, 2022 Q5, so I can kind of let you know what this air suspension is like versus a normal suspension setup. Let's first turn our auto start stop off, which, even though it is a pretty good system, it still gets in the way sometimes. After our more main road, we can get it out onto a back road where we'll get an acceleration test. And we'll also get it to go around some corners. And we'll see how we can wrap up this SQ5 as a whole. It's definitely got the features. This isn't the most loaded SQ5 that I've been in, but it's definitely got the good stuff in it. S Sport package, fine apple leather seats. It's also got the sport exhaust tips, so most of the SQ5s will have fake exhaust tips. This one has real exhaust tips from the factory too, if you could believe that. So, but just cruising along 45, 50 miles an hour ish, it is very, very comfy in comfort mode. The air suspension does a magnificent job of soaking up all the imperfections in the road. It's also very quiet in here. You barely hear any humming of the tires up at this speed. You barely hear any wind noise. And it's a very pleasurable and comfortable driving experience in comfort mode. The steering is also nice and light, but very direct too, I will say that. You just hear a slight hum of that turbocharged V6 under the hood. Now this is our road we're going to be doing our acceleration clip on, so we'll switch it over to dynamic. We'll leave the transmission in automatic mode, kind of get the car up to 25 miles an hour and see what happens. So let's do that now. Here we are, 25, and you get a nice boost of power as soon as that 8-speed automatic shifts into the right gear. That turbo spools up quick, man, I'm telling you. That is plenty of power under the hood of the SQ5, so definitely a very fun car on the weekends, and you can also enjoy it just as much as a comfortable daily driver. So definitely no complaints there with the power. Transmission did a pretty good job of shifting us into the right gear quickly enough. And this is, whereas in the Q5 we have a dual clutch transmission, a 7-speed dual clutch. And the SQ5 we have a traditional 8-speed torque converter transmission, but it does do a pretty good job of getting us in the right gear quick enough. Dynamic mode gives us a sharper throttle response. It also weightens up the steering ever so slightly, although it is still a pretty light steering setup. even in the most sporty mode. It does also feel a bit stiffer suspension-wise when you put it into dynamic. You definitely feel the imperfections in the road now, which is nice. A stiffer ride always translates to a little bit better handling around the corners. And I'm pretty impressed with the steering setup. Although it is light, it is a nice direct setup. So we do have some corners coming up in here, so we won't do anything crazy, of course. But we'll definitely get a feel for it around the corners. It's a nice S-turn coming up. We do have some road work on this road today, so we're going to be a little bit careful, but we'll definitely get a feel for it. Nice throaty noise too that this V6 throws out. Actually, a pretty impressive cornering. The body roll is pretty minimal, even though we have a nice high roof. You know, of course, this is the SQ5. But pretty impressive cornering there, so no complaints really. We are working with an SUV at the end of the day, so not too bad in the handling department. But yeah, I really like the sound that this V6 comes out with, because it's a nice deep and throaty sound. And you even get a little bit of turbo whistle in there mixed in. Another thing that's part of the S Sport package is the sport rear differential too, which definitely helps in cornering. This is a pretty classy spec'd out SQ5. If you haven't seen the full features review video, definitely check that out, because you'll see the exterior of the car, and it's a non-black optic car, so we have great Daytona grade paint and all this bright work all on the outside. It's a really classy looking SQ5. I do quite like the look of this one. One more thing I'd like to comment is the seats. Now we, of course, having the SQ5, have the sportiest seats that you can get. As far as sporty goes, they do a good job, because the bolsters will hug you in pretty nicely. But they also do a good job at comfort too. They're very comfortable. We've got four-way lumbar. We also have adjustable leg extensions, four-way adjustable headrests, so you can really get a nice comfy position in the SQ5. Definitely gives you that initial boost of power once it upshifts, or I should say downshifts rather. But I think that's a wrap for our test drive on the 2024 SQ5. I hope you've enjoyed it. And I also hope you stick around at Tie Drives and go check out the features review of this car. And also stick around for more future videos. I thank each and every one of you for watching. And we'll see you next time.